Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. And he's got his hat on because he's keeping hope alive and that the Cowboys will be successful this year. I think he's probably going to need about 2 or 3 more cowboy hats to bring that into fruition. But anyway, that's his business. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. If I share the link today, I don't know, I might, and your profile looks like this. Please show me this. And if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. Just know that, especially if I've never seen you on here before, I absolutely must see your face to make sure you are who you are. Also in the comment section, it's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. So let's be as respectful as possible. And the same thing on the panel. Also, thank you to my moderators. You are the best to ever do it. Could not and would not do it without you. Today, we're going to be talking about an all-white town, excluding Blacks and others, face backlash from civil rights groups. And I guess everybody else, who cares? And so I'm going to get into all the particulars of that in just a bit. Hello to everybody. Donovan, what say you?
What say me? This is our year. It has been 30 years since the last Super Bowl. The Cowboys are going to run the table. They're going to go 15-2, and stomp through the playoffs, and we will be back on top. America's team is back. We are back. It's this year. As you guys know, training camps are opening up all over the NFL. It's going to be a great thing. I'm going to open the season in my lovely Dominican Republic, where I will be watching. Unfortunately, the Dominican Republic is going through some upgrades, which I have no problem with, but I still will be down there doing the opening my Super Bowl there. I usually open football season down there, and I ended in Super Bowl down there. So those are the 2 times a year that I definitely will be in the DR. But hey, you guys, welcome to the show. It's 3 p.m. here in California. It is July 27, 2025. Welcome back, especially our moderators and our co-hosts in the chat. You guys keep those chats rolling, because Demetra is having the damnedest time keeping up, but she's doing the best she can. So as we talk about this stuff, you guys, if you want to donate to the show and keep these conversations going, there's a way you can do it: Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. You want to donate a Dallas Cowboy jersey, please do so. Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson. I mean, we could go on with the greats, right? So that's one way you guys can do it. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store, and really, I want to bring this up real quick about the African Diaspora News Channel app. I am a member and I subscribe, and I'm going to tell you, there's I guess a war going on with Africans and FBAs. And, it's not really a war, but, these people are being very disrespectful in the house that we built. So again, Philip Scott had kind of said something about it. I saw a little article with Rangel in regards to some of the stuff that's going on in Africa. How do I know these things, you guys? African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. Very, very informative if you want to know what is going on all around us. Because some of these people, and we're not saying all, some of these people who have the same skin tone with us are very disrespectful. And the sad thing is, they don't know our history. They only know what they were taught, whatever. So we got to get some act right on some of these people who come here very disrespectful. But a separate town. Let's go back 60, 70 years. Seems like we are reverting back to what our parents had fought against. This is going to be an interesting conversation. Again, you guys, get your Dallas Cowboy jerseys. We are stomping forward 30 years later. It took 30 years for the rest of the NFL to catch up to the Dallas Cowboys so that we could have some parity in the league. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. So a couple of things. Hey, Tracy. So you got to find us on the TV. Jay, thank you so much. He says, did you hear about the Eastman Credit Union and Tennessee video? No, I haven't heard anything about it, but I'm sure now that you mention it, it will come up. Also, let's see. Let me get it to, let me see. It is Easy E's birthday today. Happy birthday to you. How old are you? 21? You got a long way to go. But anyway, happy birthday and many, many more to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as I was telling you, hey, Stacy, how you doing? 55, okay. You're about 25 years older than me. I'll catch up eventually. Clipper, how you doing? So anyway, there is this town in Arkansas, right? Now, it says a group called Return to Land, RTTL, established a private whites-only settlement in the remote northeastern Ozarks of Arkansas in late 2023. They self-identify as a private membership association requiring applicants to demonstrate European ancestry and excluding individuals who are not white. So that's Black, Jewish, LGBTQ, Latino, anybody who is not white, okay? Now, the co-founder, Eric Orwell, has described the project as building a white town intended to preserve white culture and ancestry. The group has invested in legal research, asserting that as a private entity, they can legally enforce racial exclusion because their excuse is, well, we're not selling real estate. I don't even know how that jives, but they're saying because they're not selling real estate, they're not excluding, I guess they're buying and saying, hey, this is for us type of thing, because there's a lot of pushback again. Civil rights advocates have raised alarm warning the settlement embodies organized white supremacy and sends dangerous signals about racial segregation and division. Arkansas's attorney general and NAACP leaders have explicitly condemned the project. Now, they're saying that it's institutionalized exclusion, says this is not a historic racism, which is not. It's deliberate, ongoing exclusion based on race, structured as a community where only whites can live. Critics see it as a modern form of segregation, okay? Now, of course, a white supremacist ideology, right to land, openly rejects multiculturalism and promotes separatist living and ethnic purity. Some internal communications have referenced white nationalists and even pro-Hitler rhetoric, okay? Now, legally speaking, though RTTL claims its membership structure is legally defensible, civil rights experts argue racial discrimination is illegal and morally unacceptable. Arkansas's attorney general labels such discrimination incompatible with state values. Now, and this is a Republican, by the way, the attorney general. Now, activists warn that this isn't just a fringe project. It's a part of a growing trend of groups openly combining extremist ideology with separatist plans seeking to expand to other states like Missouri. So this particular group, their next move is Missouri. And they also said that they eventually want to have it in all 50 states, right? Now, here is, I went on their website, and they do have a website. And you have to go through this membership thing. You got to pay dues and all this other stuff. And they vet you to see, if you are white. So let me remove this just really quick. So it says about us, Return to the Land is a private membership association, PMA, for individuals and families with traditional values and European ancestry. We hold events and conferences, and we help groups of our members form European heritage community. Their vision, we seek to create decentralized movement formed of various individuals and societies returning to the land. We will promote strong families with common ancestry and raise the next generation in an environment that reflects our traditional values. We will facilitate economic and social harmony between all groups and individuals in our movement, okay? Above all, we continue to engage in never-ending pursuit of excellence, refusing to lower our standards or lose sight of our goals. Now, lastly, it says their mission: we will return to the land to separate ourselves from a failing modern society, and we will make positive cultural changes in ourselves and in our ancestral community. Their goals are to facilitate individual groups to share common ancestry, purchase land in rural areas, to facilitate media activities to promote their movement, to create many independent and fully functional parallel societies, to teach, share, and develop successful methods of garnering independence and building community, to cultivate wholesome beauty, health, and hope in a trying world. Okay, now this gentleman here, guess he is the founder of that, Eric Orwell. And Sky News actually did a pretty lengthy investigation and conversation with this group. Now, the reason that I am showing you all of that, let me remove him, is because, again, right, that most people are saying, what's the big deal? Now, it should be said that currently today, there's about, so they say, right, it could be more, maybe less, about 2,400 sundown towns. For those of y'all who do not know what sundown towns are, they're already all white towns, or predominantly white. Right now, it might be like a small percentage, like one of other groups of people. Typically, again, a sundown town is where all white people are, and sundown means you better be gone by the sundown, or we gonna, string you up per se, right? There's a lot of them. All right. But again, a lot of people are saying, what's the big deal that they want an all white town? Well, I want to take you back down history just briefly. Marcus Garvey. I know a lot of you guys don't like Marcus Garvey anymore, but I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Now, he had a land for a resettlement initiative. He wanted Liberia to grant land to Black Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, and Afro-Latinos who wished to return to Africa. Now, of course, Liberia was created by white people who were like, okay, we got too many free Black people running around here. It's like 1816. So we want to try to send them, to Liberia, whatever the case is. So I don't know if you guys remember when Trump was talking to the president of Liberia. He goes, oh, you speak English very well. And he was like, because it's our language. Anyway, of course, you guys remember Black Wall Street. It was located in Greenwood. Tulsa, Oklahoma was built to create self-sustaining, thriving Black community that provided economic opportunities and services for its residents, free from the constraints of racial segregation and discrimination. It was envisioned as a place where Black Americans could own businesses, build wealth, and control their own economic destiny. Okay, that sounds a lot like this white town. Right now, I should say that the white town, right to the land, the white town, they got their inspiration from Orania, which is an all-white town in South Africa, of all places. Okay, now this next one, of course, you guys have probably heard about it, and I've talked about it a lot. It comes from the Muslim program, What the Muslim Wants, and that's number 4. And it basically says, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and that an area must be fertile and materially rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in the separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years, or until we're able, to be self-sufficient, for lack of better words. Now, of course, this was written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad back in the day. So I read all of those because for those who are mad at these white people that want their own town, is like, why? We have been asked to separate for a very, very long time. Back, Marcus Garvey, right? We were told to separate. And the other thing is, I said this the other day on the show, and somebody brought it up. We should be happy that they want to be off to themselves, because when they're off to themselves, we're safer, right? And why on earth would anybody Black, I'm speaking to our people now, Black Americans, why on earth would anybody Black complain or cry about that? You got the NAACP. If you guys saw my video on the African Diaspora News Channel where I said we need to divorce them, they're mad about it for what? They're talking about discrimination, and the segregation. Is like, well, why would you want to live next to people like that anyway, right? So the fact that they want their own land, I don't see the big deal. But the problem is we focus on everybody else's stuff and don't focus on ours. We should be focusing on getting our own land. Now, I know there's some Black Americans who have, started their own segregation process, if you will, which is a good thing. But we need to be having that conversation more often, right? I don't care what those white folks do, never have and never will. I don't care if I never see them a day again in my life, right? I really don't. So we shouldn't either. So Donovan, then I'm going to get to the comment section.
Yes, I'm not going to take too long because I saw some great comments from our co-hosts there, but I'm kind of I'm not even on the fence. I'm like, what's the big deal? Just like a lot of people in the comments are saying, good, get rid of them. Leave us alone. Because you guys, let's use our common sense. If white people could survive without other slave groups, they would do it, but they can't. That's why you hear white liberals talking about, well, who's going to pick the crops? Damn it.
We can hear you. It just kind of went out when you went high pitched.
Oh,
yeah.
But they all say this stuff, right? They're all saying, oh, we need this, we need that. If they can survive, white people cannot survive without a slave class. Even in South Africa, the whatever that Orang village is, notice that they really can't do anything, and they're kind of marginalized where they're at. But of course, the CBC, and I was watching the African Diaspora News Channel, and they brought this up. Why is it that whenever it is time to deal with Black issues, something else comes up and we have to put all our issues aside for the benefit of everybody else? This is nothing more than a distraction, right? Oh my gosh, Black people, please be outraged. White people want to separate from us. We should be applauding. We should be applauding that they want to get away from us. We want to get away from them. But notice that when it comes to, let's say, if you want to go to Africa, why is it that plane tickets to Africa are so damn expensive? Because they don't want Black people to go back to Africa and be emboldened by what you see there, right? We're having some problems with the Africans over here, but what I'm saying is the fact of the matter is if we go over there, in my opinion, we would take over because we have more resources than most of the Africans over there. The Chinese are running amok in Africa right now, right? But this is nothing new. We act like, and this is why I just can't stand the CBC. They act like these little small towns and stuff never existed and how we should be outraged about it or anything else. That's BS. We suffer from economic segregation. This is why they don't want to give us reparations. Because if we had reparations, we could build our own towns and separate ourselves, but they don't want that. How many of you guys play golf or watch golf or whatever? You can't be a member of a golf club unless you have some serious money in your pocket. They don't care if you know how to play or not. They want to know if you got the money. Private clubs is nothing new. So what is the damn outrage that they're trying to do? Do you see how they try to get us to be emotional? And then if we're talking about it, the CBC, which most of them have gone to Black universities, they've gone to HBCUs, isn't that a form of segregation? A specific school that is designated for a certain group of people, even though everybody can go there? And let's talk about the boule and the fraternities. Isn't that another form of segregation? Where's the outrage for that? They never talk about that. These Greek fraternities, they're doing this and where's the outrage for that? All of that should be banned according to them. If we have to be outraged at white people wanting their own community, then we should be outraged about the AKAs. And I know people that are going to watch this video, they're going to just come out of the woodwork. There's a lot of AKAs and alphas and all these other people. But guess what? I don't pump no Kool-Aid over here. You could Google my address and I will let me know. If I'm not home, I will come and meet you. I am not afraid. But the point is, if you're making us be outraged by white people wanting to separate from us, then we should outlaw all kinds of forms of segregation because fraternities are another form of that. So, and then again, I'm going to ask you guys this question. How long do you think white people will last without a slave class? They've never done it. They have never done it. And then also don't forget about a known specific group known as Skull and Bones, which decides what happens to our lives here in the United States.
Yep, absolutely. So let me get into the comment section. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Says it would be interesting if Black started creating all Black towns owned and run by Black, separate away from the white legal system. Well, we used to do it, right? I just mentioned Black Wall Street. We used to have them. Of course, we know what happened with them folks, and now they got the audacity to talk about we want to be away from everybody else, that they didn't destroy, all of our towns. And that's why I said we would be safer if they go off and do that, right? Go as far away and build the tallest fence you can so that you guys, can't get out, right? And of course, you guys are saying as long as they don't use tax dollars, and I totally agree with you, right? Get it out the mud. Use your own money or whatever it is you need to do, right? So absolutely. Easy says, D, I was in Oregon last week and it's a sundown state. Only saw Black folks in Portland area, but I was getting some looks while driving. Yeah, Portland, at least back in the day, used to have, a lot of Black people there. I don't know about now. I know some people who are from there. And I should also say, Brother Don, happy 61st birthday to you. And 61 more. And I think I said that to you last Friday, but I'll say it again.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. He's talking about South Africa, Portlandia in South Africa.
Oh, did I read that wrong?
Yeah, you said Portland, South Africa.
No, because he said, D, I was in Oregon last week and it's a sundown town. I only saw black folks in Portland area, but I was getting some looks while driving.
Oh,
yeah. So no worries. Let's see. Who else is on here? African natives.
Wait. But isn't it funny how white people over there and around the world, they name their towns and streets similar to everything, how they all are kind of interconnected?
Yeah. Yeah, they interconnected in foolishness. African native says create own economy does not mean being disrespectful to potential customers. I got you. Let's see. Exactly. Facts not feeling it. Yep, Tracy. Let's see. Obadiah, what's going on with you? Says Mother Madam. Okay. Mad Dog. He says it's a lot of sundown towns. Yeah, all of the United States is sundown-y. Ernest, he says, like Strom Thurmond says, segregation now forever. If they had started this way from the start, we wouldn't be where we are right now. I think it's time for us to separate. Change is good. We've been asked to.
Well, think about this too. Isn't Beverly Hills a sundown town? Isn't La Jolla, San Diego a sundown town? Isn't parts of Orange County, I believe it's that real high-end area in Orange County, isn't that a sundown town in some form? Because if you're a black person walking around in those areas, the cops are going to come up to you and ask you, what are you doing there?
Yeah, and places like Beverly Hills and things like that, it's a sundown town in regards to you not having no money, okay? Broke people get out. Hey, Brother Samuel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well this fine Sunday. And who else haven't I seen? Lance, what's going on? He says McDonald's starting pay in Sweden is $20 an hour. In California, I think it's $21 an hour. So, and I don't know what the cost of living is.
And that's not even a living wage here in California. $21, that ain't cutting it.
Yeah. Meska, how you doing? Says, he says, I still stand on the principle of why don't everyone that didn't originate from here need to separate themselves back to the land they originated from. They're all parasites. Yeah. And that's Europe, right? Avenged Ancestors, how you doing? Yes, indeed. Baraka, what's going on? Says, but that narrative is changing in Africa. Look at Ibrahim Traore. Absolutely. We are definitely seeing that. And we know they don't like him, right? Bobby Wobby says the basketball team's going to be sorry. And Tracy says, playing golf along with their flute playing, I'm good. They got it. Lily, what's going on with you? Sagittarius got it. Says, why would we be emotional when they've been doing that? Shaking my head. But people are, right? Again, that's kind of the red meat as well to keep black people mad. You know, we don't be, they have to keep us mad all the time. If we're not mad all the time, then we might have a moment to think and say, well, is it really that bad? Or we might be able to problem solve, right? But so they got to keep it like, this is not our issue at all. So what white folks want to be, you know, off to themselves. Why do we even care, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like how black people are reacting to the immigration thing. Notice as long as we keep our nose out of it, life is going on for us. You know, we need to worry about coming together within ourselves rather than worrying about everybody else's problems. And we would be better off for it.
Absolutely. Lala, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brooklyn G Baby, what's going on? Says, meanwhile, the U.S. federal government last week gave $100,000 in reparation to white people in New Mexico and their descendants person for bombing them 80 years ago. Yeah, you know, they're going to take care of their own, right? Which is jacked up. Obviously, they owe us reparations. But, you know, if you're paying attention, you're seeing why they're going through the things they're going through. They have to atone for the original sin, which is slavery, right? You have to. There's no way you could do that to a whole group of people and just say, oh, well, get over it, right? That's not how it works. Mac, how you doing? Hope you are doing well. Angela, what's going on with you? Yvette, hope you're doing well. Child of God, he says, let them go ahead. Bunch of weirdos. Uh-oh. Lala says they all finna do, all they finna do is start, you know what? Being what they relatives, okay? And making a bunch of brother cousins and then a cult. Lord, you know what the crazy thing is? I thought the same thing, but I was like, that's probably a little bit mean. Easy says their numbers are dwindling and they know it. That camp in Ozark is nothing but a white baby making camp for breeding more white babies. Yeah, because as of now, you know, everybody's kind of breeding with one another. And of course, they don't want that. But, you know, it is what it is. They can try all they want to. We know that the birth rate, especially among their people, is super low. I mean, it's low everywhere, right? But especially among them, they cannot adhere to that false idea of white supremacy if they are not, big in numbers, which, we already know that's not the case anyway. Let's see who else is on here. MC, thank you, MC Fact, for asking everybody to get the likes. Appreciate you. Brother Sammy says, now the fact that Black economy would make us the 9th richest in the country, that we are keeping white America afloat. Yeah, so that's the other thing, right? It sounds good in theory to separate from everybody else, but most people get about 97% of all the money that we bring in here every year, right? So it's like, yeah, separate from the money too, to take all y'all stuff. And see, because if we were to do that, we'd be well off, right? If we would separate our money from everybody else, we would be fine. We would never need to talk to nobody ever again, ask them for nothing. But again, the same people that want us to be mad about this are the same people that are saying you're victims. And we are victims of institutional systemic racism. I'm not saying that we're not, but it's like, well, you need to continue voting for the Democrats, because if you don't, then you're going to be bad off. The Democrats are the party of Black people. The Democrats are going to help you, right? If you get the Republicans in there, then you guys are going to be bad off. And it's like, if you don't knock it off, because we're not better off under no party. So, yeah.
Well, I got a question for riddle me this, Demetra. How, if the Democrats are so good in the party of Black people, how in the super democratic state of California you can't get reparations for Black people, but you could come up with money for illegal immigrants because they're scared to go to work? You know how many Americans don't want to go to work, and yet we're not funding them?
Yeah, well, California knows that there's less than 6% of Black people there, so they're like, well, it's either here or there with them. In a sense, a lot of this is not a lot. Some of it, I say, some of it is our fault, because we squandered plenty of opportunities to turn this thing around by not voting for oppression, right? But we continue to do it. I mean, even with Kamala, most Black voters voted for her, but a lot of enough didn't. But the point is, I mean, we can't keep complaining about situations that we partake in. There's been many of people tell us, stop doing that. Stop. Dr. Claude Anderson is one of them. Stop voting for your own oppression. It says we're the only group of people that do that. And now we're starting to see the results of doing that. And so in California, they can say, well, we can lie to them, say we're going to get reparations, but when we do the numbers, they don't matter, so yeah.
Right. And if you think about it, with the less and declining numbers of Black people in California, it isn't like it was, 20, 30 years ago. We had a good significant amount of Black people. They gentrified us out and they've left the state. Wouldn't it make more sense now that the numbers are low enough, like they do veterans? Once enough veterans die, then they say, oh yeah, Agent Orange. Yeah, okay, we'll give you that compensation for that once enough of us die. So now the numbers in California, Black people are so low, wouldn't it be advantageous to pay the money while the numbers are low? But no, they're showing you, regardless, it could be one Black person, myself, left in California, they're not going to pay reparations in a super democratic state.
Absolutely. And Easy, you might be on to some as far as, being funded by the government. And Stacey says, years ago, my parents and I were driving in Beverly Hills and the police pulled us over and asked us what we were doing out there at that time of night. We were going to an OJ concert. There you go. Right. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of mixed now, but back in the day, yeah, it was predominantly white, right? Only a few wealthy Black people lived there, or maids and butlers, right? Carl, how you doing? He says, let them go. Yes, indeed. Freddie B, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Janelle, what's going on? Happy Sunday to you as well. You Jax, what's going on? Says, never go where you're not welcome. You know what I'm saying? Ahmad, how you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Lisa, how you doing? Reverend Green says, that's Waco 2.0. High Tech, how you doing? Says, liberal California has sundown towns. Oh, yeah. But they claim to be so progressive and accepting sarcasm. Yeah. Where I live, about 15 minutes away, there's a sundown town, Fontana, California. I call it Fontucky, but Fontana, California. It's very sundowny, and KKK just roaming about. So yeah,
and it's funny how people are surprised at that, because where do you think the Turner Diaries were written? Right next to Camp Pendleton, a Marine Corps base in Fallbrook, California, which is about 35 miles south of me right now. The White Aryan Nation was formed down there.
Yeah, and in some parts of Anaheim as well. Amber, He says the president is a felon. Okay, I'm not gonna read no more. You keep coming on here with the same comment. You think we forgot? I mean, what is your point to keep, saying that every time you come on here? I'm just asking. We got it. We know he's a felon.
Go ahead. And by the way, he's also your president too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What do you want me to do with that? You know what I mean? We know. You guys won't let us forget. Donald Trump is a felon. Honestly, I was thinking about this earlier. And I was like, I think Donald, he was somewhere, Scotland or something. And he was all over the place. I'm like, he sounded like Kamala. And he's having some Joe Biden moments, right? So I'm like, yeah, I think something going on with this cat. He's obviously, other than being, well, not that 79 is old, okay? But clearly
it affects people differently. Yeah, it affects people differently.
Yeah, he ain't all there.
And wait a minute, wasn't his convictions, weren't they overturned or were they stayed?
He's got 34. He had like 90 originally, but he's got like 34. Some of them may have been overturned, but yeah, he still got something.
I think a lot of them were stayed or something where they're not even going to prosecute anymore. So he's not a felon.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, he still is.
No, because I think he's appealing a lot of this stuff, but I heard that they're going to be overturned. But anyway, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I broke out of being shadow banned by the deep state. How you doing? It's a long name. Says their own DNA hates them due to low birth rates alone. My white neighbor tried 5 times. Only one child made it through the birth canal, and that child has Down syndrome. Wow. That's crazy. Corey, how you doing? Says, who cares? Let them have. Well, you know what? Quicks, how you doing? Says, so annoying. I'd actually love moving to the Ozark because I like the scenery of Montana in the summer, but not with those folks. People, you notice how they try to go get the great real estate for them, right? They want the beautiful mountains and just the flowing water. And I was like, nah, move to the places that y'all tow up, because again, they're not indigenous to here, but they come here and destroy stuff. And then they want to take the stuff that's untouched, right? We just want some beautiful scenery where our people can thrive. And it's like, nah, y'all should go live where the places y'all help tear up, right? Just food for thought. Easy says 100,000 for a radiation poison from government is no real money. That's true. It's not, but they got more than what we got, right? Yvette, he says, I'm not trying to be mean, but I really wish that Black people stop giving so much media attention to what white people saying. Do focus on ourselves. I totally agree with you. 1,000%. Let's see. Who else? G Ghost, how you doing? Says, sir, you what? Says, who ain't bright? Says, what do you see? I don't even know who you're talking to. Veronica, peace and blessings once again to you as well. Let's see. Your average logical thinker, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well. Black American expert, how you doing? Says Donovan, is you related to Raphael Saadiq? I could see it.
Distant. We're distant. He's from Louisiana, and his real name is Wiggins. My real name is Malloyd. So.
Distant, like from the mother of civilization, the original Black woman on the planet. That distant, okay?
No. Actually, he's like a 5th cousin. He's like a 5th or 6th cousin.
Okay. Tracy, yeah, thank you, Astrological Thinker. Love and appreciate you for sharing the live. Tracy says the problem is there isn't really any real options for us who to vote for. I mean, yeah. Of course, they'll tell you have to vote. Look what happened when you didn't vote. But I'm going to vote for something if it's got something for me, right? I'm not going to just keep on pledging allegiance to something that's not doing it for me. That's lunacy, right? Viking for life. How you doing? Says, so does China and the U.S. Towns, no Blacks. Yeah, most everybody has their own town here. I mean, Black people, we used to. I don't know if we do as much. There's still some, but not as much as we used to. Of course, when civil rights came along, we thought, oh, okay, now we can go move next to them folks. And look what happened, right? Chosen 1619, how you doing? Says, I'm from Arkansas, and Arkansas has always had whites only town. Yeah, I was reading about one. It starts with the H, Herschel or something like that. I might have it wrong, but they said it's been there for a long time. So that, like you said, that's not new. Force of nature, how you doing? Says, all white town gonna be flooded. Oh, ooh. You said a word there. Maple, how you doing? Happy Sunday to you as well. Shadow Pop, what's going on? He says, I hope them racists carry their raccoons with them. Nah, Candace, Shannon Sharp and them ain't going to be able to go. And that's who's going to be affected by it the most. They're going to be like, what you mean? We can't go and be with the snow bunnies and Brads and all of that. Those are the people that's going to hurt the most. And I don't know if y'all heard, I don't know how true it is. We know that Shannon Sharp settled with that young woman. Sounds like maybe gave her $22 million. I don't know how true it is, but they said that his original rookie contract or something like that was $22 million. And of course, he was always, oh, my children have to work for their money. This, and it's his money. He can do whatever he wants, right? But it's like you gave all that money to a white girl behind, you know, rolling around in the hay with her. And boy, I listen, I ain't telling people what to do. I just lost a lot of respect for Shannon. A lot. I have no respect for him. It's like, what can you really say to anybody else after, you know, enduring that? It's crazy. JD Caldwell, how you doing? Says FBAs in the past had their own towns until the folks bombed and burned and flooded us out. We were doing just fine on our own, right? And now they want to go off and be off to themselves out there and tow up everybody else and stuff. That's why I said, I mean, let them go. We know for a fact that everywhere they've gone all over the world, they have caused nothing but destruction. So let them go off and be by themselves. We'll all be better off for it. I don't get the why people are crying. Tracy, Turner Diaries. Yeah, easy. Lancaster, all over, right? Astrological thing is Santee near San Diego is well-known sundown city. Yep. All over. People think California, no, California with palm trees and sunshines and beaches and KKK. Word on the street, how you doing? Says, and why are they worried? They talking about some discrimination, segregation. It's like,
wait a minute, where's your boy Ed Buck, the guy that helped the Asians get rid of preferential treatment in schools? Where's he?
Oh, you mean Ed Buck is?
Sorry, yeah.
Ed Blum. I don't know. I asked that in the video. Where is Ed? Ed, are you still with us? You know, you're mad you don't want people to get preferential treatment, you know, whatever the case is, but you watching California do it with the immigrants. Now these white folks want to run off, but when some black people trying to do something, he get together with the Asians and they organize against us, right? When Brother Sam says the expression goes, go where you're celebrated and never where you are tolerated. Yep, my dad says that all the time. Tommy, how you doing? Says we need a few ourselves. Yeah, we had them, right? We just need to get back into that frame of mind. MRB, how you doing? Says another sundown town. Let's focus on reparations. Yes, and we will get reparations faster when we focus on us, right? As I said the other day about the whole African and Black American argument, which I do not care to be a part of, none whatsoever. We'd be better off focusing on building our own thing and not worried about everybody else. And I think a lot of these issues would dissipate a little bit, at least, you know.
What? Leave this good white man? Where you gonna get a better house than you get here? Where you gonna eat better food than you eat here? Where you gonna get a better job than you eat here? You must be out your mind. This good white man who's just shared his wealth and his love and brought us up out of slavery, you out of your mind.
I don't know. You're right. What were we thinking? Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. Says Demetri, the Democrat shields here in Michigan are still very upset and concerned while asking questions on FBA's next move. 2 words, tangibles and reparations. Yeah, you know, and they need to focus on the water in Flint. You know, they got a lot of other things to be worried about. And of course, we want our reparations, right? We don't want this, you know, this symbolism that they've been giving us, right? So absolutely. And thank you once again. Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. What you got going on this Sunday? I know you cooking something well. Alex, how you doing? Says peace to Demetri and Donovan. Did you hear about the redistricting from Greg Abbott? And the Democrats are up in arms about it. Yes, he being Trump told Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, that they want 5 seats. So they want to grab 5 seats, you know, to change the congressional makeup or whatever, the map. And of course, like you said, the Democrats are up in arms. They're like, we can't let them do this, that, and the other. Because, of course, if they grab 5 additional seats, then they pretty much control Texas forever, right? Because there's some places in Texas, like Harris County here in Houston, that's heavily Democrat, things like that. So, yeah, if they can grab 5 more seats, it's pretty much a wrap. But my thing is, y'all, what made y'all get in the game now? Y'all haven't been getting in the game, you know, and I don't think it's a good idea that they take those seats. But what were you doing with those seats in the first place? Of course, they're talking about all Black representation and brown representation is going to be gone if they do that. But it's like, but what were you doing for Blacks anyway? We know that they were helping the brown, but what were they doing for the Black? You know, now all of a sudden everybody's supposed to be concerned. Oh my God, Greg Abbott is trying to take these seats at Trump. What was you doing with him before? That's the question I have. It's like, don't try to, you know, scream to the rooftop now. Oh, they trying to, you know, Republicans. You wasn't helping blacks, so why should blacks care about that anyway? Well, I'm curious about that because I see it all over. People all over the time, like, oh yeah, are they trying to take these seats? And then it's like, well, what was y'all doing with them? You weren't doing anything with them for anybody to say, well, let me get out there and help put boots on the ground and make sure these Republicans don't take them. So it's just fake outrage at this point.
Yes, and I want to add to that. By the way, Roland Martin called you out. You, Brother Phil Scott, Dickie Dillon, all those other guys. But
hey, I know for a fact he didn't call my name because he know better.
Right. But let me tell you guys how, and a lot of you guys in the chat, I'm not being disrespectful, a lot of you guys know how it works. But for those people that are new, probably watching, that don't know how it works, all politicians engage in redistricting. They did it in Florida to help your girl with the weave, Brown. They're going to do it in New York. Do you guys really want to know why it's an outrage of the redistricting? Because they want to do it here in California. Remember, California is a super state, right? How many counties in California turned red in this last election? 11 counties. So why wouldn't you redistrict? You want to redistrict to the counties that you want. Across the nation, the demographics of what Trump picked up as a Republican, why wouldn't they want to redistrict and gerrymander what the Democrats have been doing for years, now that they're in power? Because the dynamics has shifted. That's just part of the congressional thing that they do. Your boy Bojangles Clyburn, he, in cahoots with the Republicans, gerrymandered the districts in South Carolina where he is the only Democrat that wasn't touched in the last redistricting. But here in California, Gavin Newsom is talking about it now. The Democrats did so poorly that now the redistricting is happening under the Republicans, and they don't know what to do because now it's going to give the Republicans overwhelming power. If you look at what the Democrats tried to do by flooding the gates with all these immigrants so they could have unlimited power in the census, if you listen to my podcast, that's what I said this was all about, because it made no sense that all these Democratic governors and mayors were crashing out in support of these immigrants, right? It has to do with the census. The more people you have, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. The more people you have in your area, the more congressional seats you get and the more federal dollars. So now the Republicans are in control and they're saying, you know what? We're going to run the table now. And here in California, 11 districts in super majority Democratic California turned red, and the Democrats don't know what to do about it.
Thank you, Easy, for that. Love and appreciate you. And you say it's Newport Beach, sundown. It just depends. It's part of, Orange County. It just depends. I know some Black people who live out there, whatever the case is. So it just depends, right? But California definitely has a lot of sundown activities, right? And
Park Fullerton, yeah.
Yeah, and not even just from white people, Hispanics. They try to terrorize Black folks as well. I saw a video somewhere, and I'm going to look more into it, where they was talking about we run Compton now. Okay. Let's see who else is on here. Buckhorse says, incredible. Yes, I'm cooking as we speak. I knew you were. You and a couple of other ones. Sister Marcella, y'all always cooking something. Don't need. How you doing? Rohan, he says most of America are white towns, only 13% of the population. Sad that some of us are fighting to live among them folks. Yeah, but again, they being the Democrats, the NAACP, all of them, they gotta keep us mad because they know, and I'm not saying all of us, so please don't mistake me in this, they know that we won't think for ourselves. I always ask this: if you are listening to somebody that's always making you mad, stop and say, are they just making me mad? Are they keeping me angry? Are they giving me solutions? Are they talking at me all the time? Or are they talking with me. Like here, we talk amongst ourselves, right? We don't just do this, do that, but that's what they do to us. They keep us mad because we don't stop and think, why am I mad? And I heard a quote, I don't know where it came from. It says, if you're just getting mad, if you're getting mad with no action or no plan, you're just mad, right? What is it doing you good, any good that is doing you just to be mad? You know, say, okay, you know what? I'm mad. I never want to be mad again. So I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. So that they have to do that to keep us in a constant state of anger and frustration. Because when you're angry and frustrated, you don't think. There's a lot of people in prison right now at the cemetery, but especially in prison. So if I would have just thought about what I was about to do. Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us to think 5 times before we speak. Of course, before you act, you know, or anything else, right? There's a lot of people said, if I just would have just thought about it, but I was just mad. So we got to stop just being mad. And if you're listening to people that keep you enraged all the time, you might want to change the channel. I'm just saying.
I would like to announce my resignation from the show, effective immediately.
Yeah, because you be trying to keep them mad. No, Brother Reggie, he says the Dems were quiet when the redistricting benefited them a few years ago. There you go. And I've even heard the Democrats saying, well, we should do it too, right? So they're just kind of going back and forth and using the American people as a pawn. You know, they want people to be mad about the redistricting, but see, common sense will have you ask, well, what was you doing when you had the district? What was you doing to benefit me when you had it? Now all of a sudden you about to lose it, and now I'm supposed to do what? Go help you keep it so you can go keep doing for everybody else but Black people? No, I don't think so. Get somebody else to do it. Now, when you start doing for Black Americans, specifically too, then I can get all in an uproar, but I don't think I'm going to do that for what? I don't need my blood pressure raised no higher than it already is. No, thank you. All right, let's see. Who else is on here that I did not see? Yes, easy. It's about control. Roger says, how he did call you out, Demetri. Oh, he called me out too? I mean, I know on Twitter he did, but ain't nobody thinking about Roland. Honestly, you know, Roland ain't got no power. Roland, I hear he's talking about, I'll call him out. I'll do a roll call. Like, what rolls you talking about, sir? Cinnamon rolls? What rolls are you talking about necessarily? But ain't nobody scared of Roland. You know, Roland, he's really got to put on a show for whoever, I don't know, right? He's got to do that, because think about it. Back in the day, Roland used to be the sweetheart of Black media, right? And Roland, I don't ever want to discount anything. I don't think he's a dumb man, but I do think that he is sold out or bought in, however you want to do it. And he's probably always been that way, but it's become more apparent. You know why it's become more apparent? Because you got the opposition now, right? We the ops. The ops weren't out and popping like we are now, right? Started getting these channels and different things like that. We started reaching a lot of people, and we started to grab a lot of people from that the plantation that they had them on and say, hey, wait a minute now. Do you actually hear what they're saying to you? And this is why it doesn't make sense. And then when people started saying, yeah, you're right, then they started realizing Roland and all of them have been pulling their leg, you know, and fooling them and making them thinking that, oh, you keep voting for the Democrats and that's progress, right? All the Republicans bad, Democrats good. But then when you ask them, well, what have the Democrats done to benefit Black people? Like they've done to benefit everybody else? Oh, well, they got these All Lives Matter bills. The Asian hate crime bill. That's what Roland, that's when you got mad with me. When I said, what would be in it for him to lie? You know, because he kept saying the Asian hate crime bill was for Black people too, and nowhere in there does it say Black people too. It don't say nobody else but Asians, you know, Pacific Islanders, right? But he knows that most Black people that listen to him won't read it. Oh, well, if Roland say it, then it must be true. But Roland ain't got no juice. None.
Well,
he's irrelevant.
I'm disagree with you. Roland's juice is the church crowd and the big hat gang and the baby boomers, because with everybody else, you know, and I really think he called you guys out because he wants to be relevant with the younger crowd, because a lot of the younger people, Generation Z and younger, they don't really know who Roland Martin is. So, you know, it's just another thing to get his name out there to say, oh, you know, I'm relevant, because he's losing relevancy all the time. He got 150,000, 300,000, whatever amount Kamala gave him, and she got blown out.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the juice with them, but and no shade, and y'all, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. It's just really hot here. No shade to the older people. We love them, but they're going up to glory, you know. And so that's who his crowd is. And of course, you know, the D9 crowd, they all this, that, and the other. But you know, they need us all. When I say they, the Democrats need all of us to be on board with the nonsense, right? And all of us are not. See, Roland was doing all right when we didn't have a big as reach as we have now, but he's floundering at this point. So Roland don't have no juice, and he's upset about it. He would love if we would just go away, but guess what? We're not gonna go away. We're not leaving. Guess what? We ain't never been. We never left. We just haven't. We haven't had the voice that we have now. But most of us have always been around. You know, the poor righteous teachers. That's who we are. You know, we don't get those big old giant checks from Kamala and all them other people. We don't get nothing. That's why they call you the poor righteous teachers, because you won't sell out for a biscuit. You're like, the knowledge is what's important to me to impart to my people. If I don't get a dime for it, then that's all that matters, is that the people get the point. You know, they get the message. They start to wake up, because ultimately us waking up is going to be more valuable than any money that we can get from Kamala, Democrats, or anybody else. So, yeah.
And you know what's funny about him calling you guys out? I'm very sure if he was invited Phil Scott, you, Vicky Dillard, whoever he wants to call out, notice he isn't setting that up. He has a platform to invite you guys on that platform to do what you guys need to do. But you know what? He won't do it, because we know the truth about Roland Martin. He's the one that gave Hillary Clinton answers to the town hall. I mean, he's been disgraced on the national media level. And they don't want any parts to do with them. And I remember, Demetra, we were in the studio here at the house, and Roly Poly showed up on YouTube. Because remember, when he was with Studio One or whatever that was, oh, I'm this, I'm the black media and all this other stuff. Then he's going to try to dog the people on YouTube, and he's on YouTube. You're like, what? What is this guy talking about? Oh, they're YouTubers. They don't know what they talking about. Simple Simons. They don't know nothing about what they talk about. Listen to me. I know everything. Well, if you know everything, Roland, what are you doing on YouTube? If you are so knowledgeable, you should be somewhere up there as a pundit doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying cinnamon rolls. Yeah, but, you know, of course, he lost that show on TV One, and then he ended up on, I guess, YouTube with the rest of us commoners, you know. And that, I don't know. He seems like he's doing well, whatever the case is. I don't hate Roland or anything like that.
Well,
I actually
we would do well if we got checks from the DNC too. We would be doing well too.
Yeah, but what you got to do for them checks? Okay, you got to put on some fishnets and pantyhose and some pumps. Okay,
and get caught with that dude on your laptop or whatever.
Oh God, you know what? I don't even know what happened with that, but it's like, that's your business, man. If Roland was looking at some white bonds or whatever, that gross, but that's his business, right? We don't want to, you know, a happy pride to him. I don't know. Laura Flawless, he said back rolls, you crazy. Miss Allie, how you doing? Says Roland like you, girl. Don't call him a cinnamon roll. He's gonna think you love him. I don't think he know. Yeah, I can say I don't hate Roland. I just hate that he thinks everybody's stupid. And I don't want to call nobody stupid, but like, I'm not one of those people just listen to any and everybody. I like to think about it and you know, see if it makes sense or whatever the case is. But Roland talks to people that do not know how to follow the breadcrumbs, that do not know how to connect the dots, right? Those are the people he talks to. They want that. Well, Roland says, well, right in there, he's calling people names. The other day, he called, because he didn't mention my name. I didn't hear him say my name. Okay, he might have mentioned it some other time, but he called the rest of them some a-holes. I'm like, wow, Simple Simons, them a-holes. It's like, God, you's an angry bird, ain't you?
And notice, you guys, he never talks like that to white, Hispanic, or Asian. Only to Black people does he talk like that.
Yeah, because, you know, he sees himself here and us here. That's why he talk, not us, them. Like I said, he ain't talking to me, and I know he ain't really, because he never gonna have Phil on the show. He's never gonna have Vicky. He's never gonna have Tariq or Umar. God bless Umar. So I saw the video where he was talking about he don't have no money. I don't know what's going on with that, but he ain't never gonna have. Well, he did have Umar on there, and I think that was the last time he was gonna do that because Umar cleaned his clock. I think that's the highest viewed video that TV1 has ever had, is when he invited Umar on there and they thought they was gonna ambush him, and Umar was like, "Yeah, I'll be your Huckleberry," right? So he's like, "Nah, I'm done with them black folks over there." So yeah, Kelser, how you doing? Says, I'm glad they want to separate. Same. Dwayne says, vote and paint. He says, red in all elected offices. It's a must. The Democrats don't like blacks. Yeah, the Republicans don't either, just to keep it a buck, right? Super Patriot. Did I say hello to you? If not, hello. Let's see who else do I got on here. Juggernaut. He says, them folks got bold to create a Trump town. Let's see. Oops. Where did it go? I lost my place. No, let's see. Where'd it go? Oh, there you go. Says, them folks got bold to create a Trump town. Guess they're feeling comfortable or what's the word? Emboldened to display their hate out in the open now. And I am on that one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've always felt that way, but now they're emboldened. They're trying to clean it up. Oh, we just want somewhere for ourselves. Like, sure, yeah, I need a fan, MC Fact. I got the air on. I just get hot, you know. Agent Black, how you doing? You didn't get a notification. I sure hate that. We're here 5 p.m. Central Time on Sundays, Sunday through Thursday. As a matter of fact, and Walter said that he's going to be here Wednesday. He told me. We'll see, right? Sugar Unique, how you doing? Says, nobody great with discernment respects Tubby Man Roro. Well, damn. El Buddha says, roly-poly, high blood pressure and cholesterol is going to get the best of him. You should Uber Eats a box of KFC biscuits to him. How about the Popeyes and with no water? Okay, just dry. He's probably used to eating them. I don't know. Brother Reddy says, y'all remember when Rolanda, you crazy, was live streaming? Yeah, yeah, that man's booty. I don't know what that was about. If he's, I have no idea. Obtuse man, how you doing? Says, we are not anti-black. Y'all didn't have a choice in being here. We embrace you as a part of our communities. And who's this R? Is this Hispanics? Is that who you're speaking of? Yanni, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says, my dignity is not for sale. Mine either. 48 TCO, how you doing? Says, hey, family, roly-poly need to go sit his slick back, balding in the middle, Jerry curl head ass down. Bobby said Tootsie Rolls. Yeah, I'm sure he likes them all. High Tech said Savvy Savs invited Roland on her YouTube after he called her out and he never responded. He's not going to do that. He going to bring people on the show where he can scream and holler at them and over talk them. See, that's where, and then again, the people that follow him, oh, Roland Shaw told him, oh yeah, look at him. What did he do besides scream and holler? You know, that's not how you have a conversation with somebody screaming and holler. Of course, to the untrained mind and the untrained ear, they think that's debating, as I often say to people, because people want to debate me all the time and say, you don't want to debate me, you want to argue. I don't argue because you don't know how to debate, right? You want to argue some stuff that you heard from somebody, that heard it from somebody, that heard it from somebody, and you think it's facts, and you want to sit up with me and holler back and forth with me. I will not. Now, if you really want to debate, we can do that. But no, he's not going on Savvy Savs. He'll talk about people on his platform, but he won't have people on. He gonna have the yes, you're right. And what's her face? I don't know, Reese, I think her name is. She got the foulest mouth. It's like dropping F-bombs and stuff. It's like, okay, you and to your point, Donovan, it got them old people listening to them. And they got her salty mouth on there dropping F-bombs and stuff. And, you know, if I was rolling, I'd be like, listen, lady, you're going to have to clean it up a little bit. The big hat gang don't want to listen to all of that, you know. But I guess, Portia, how you doing? Says, let them have it. Who wants to live with it? We can have our own. Separation is good. Totally. Let's see who else is on here. I didn't realize how far behind we are. See, Cool says Roland and Tyler Perry attract the same crowd, sassy dudes and old church ladies. You better stop. But you know what, though? You might be on to something. Brother Simon says he called out Dr. Umar Johnson, and you see what happened when he was on the show. Cynthia says, Mr. Roland, time has come and passed along with his dark funds. Please just overlook his weird, ridiculous behavior. Yeah, and I saw Trump with his crazy self. he made a post, I think it was on True Social, calling out Kamala, talking about what she did and giving Beyonce and all them that money was illegal and they need to be investigated. Like, man, if you don't stop trying to change the channel on this Epstein stuff, you know what I mean? And he had put up a picture of him chasing, I was about to say OJ, but Obama in the white Bronco, and he in a police car behind him. It's like, we still want to see the Epstein files, brother. You know, all that is cool and cute, it's funny, but people want to see what's in them files. Let us see the files.
You know, and the funny thing is, I don't see why he doesn't. Why would he even care? He's entering, you know, mental decline. He's the president. He can't run for re-election. Supreme Court has said he could pretty much do whatever he wants. He could pardon himself. So why not release it? Trump, just go ahead and release the file. Who gives a damn? Nothing's going to happen to you.
Because one thing nobody wants to be known as is the PDF file. You could be known as a murder, but a PDF file, oh no, you... And that, you know, like I said, and I've never been to prison, but people know if you watch a lot of, you know, Lock Up and all that other stuff, you know that they could kick it with you if you know, doing a little killing. But if they find out you in there for messing with kids and stuff like that, oh yeah, your days is numbered up in there, right? And the same thing, I guess, is true for out here, you know, because it's really MAGA that's like, that's cool and everything, but we want to see the files because we cannot be hanging out with nobody who's messing with kids. Now, I'm not saying that Trump has done it, but that's the allegation. And like you said, Donovan, if you ain't in there doing none of that, open up the files. What are you afraid of? But even if he could pardon himself, that'll never go away. That you potentially were doing that with kids.
Right. Well, I mean, at 78, whatever years old, I mean, how much time does he really have left? I mean, come on. Maybe he kicks it for another 25 years. Maybe. But look at W. Bush. The guy can't leave the United States without an American military escort because the World Court is after him. But he's just laying low. They only bring him out every now and then. He's laying low. You know, that's how he's going to live the rest of his life as a war criminal.
That one chick says, the way y'all act these days, not surprised people don't want to be around y'all, but they want to be around us when they came and got us. So knock it off. Okay. Everybody want to be around Black Americans, everybody. And I'm not quite sure what or who you are, but you do too. Okay. Y'all all want to be around us. If we was to up and leave right now and disappear, y'all would lose y'all minds. Because for one thing, you wouldn't know how to season your food. You wouldn't know how to wash your legs and how often to wash them. Okay. So everybody wants to be around us. And the crazy part is when we are by ourselves, here y'all come. Listen, I used to go to the club back in the day and we had the black side and the white side. And it was always a couple of y'all, depending on what you are, on the black side. Just, you know, just couldn't help yourself. Like going over there and listen to that Rhythmless Nation that y'all be listening to over there.
Yeah, and isn't it funny, Shabbat, nobody wants to be around us, but we hear nothing but Latinos right now crying for Black folks.
Exactly. Money Moves, how you doing? Says, I'm not worried about anybody excluding me. Yeah, it's like, especially them, exclude me. Please and thank you, right? Scoop says, I don't care what the race riddlers do, just can do it faster. Yeah, I mean, there should be no opposition to them wanting to go and be off to themselves. Brother Don says, where are the Black people? Where are they?
He's talking about that video that Latina was like, where are they?
We minding our business, okay? We're irrelevant any other time, but you know, when y'all getting racially profiled and all that other stuff, then it's like, where are the Black people? Minding our business. That's what we're doing. Y'all be all right. You know, y'all talking about y'all Ron Compton and all this other stuff. Now what you need us for? Sounds like we just being away. And you know, we're like, what's in it for me? See, there's this term called with them. What's in it for me? And that's where Black Americans are. A lot of us, what's in it for me? All right, I come out there and I help you, you know, overcome the oppressor, which I don't know how we do that because we ain't overcoming for ourselves. But are you going to help us get reparations? And then the other thing is you got to help us get reparations before we come out there and help you do anything. But this is not a, we help you and then you help us. No, you got to help us and then we'll think about helping you because we've already helped everybody else enough. If we never helped anybody else again, we've already helped enough.
You know, and isn't that funny though, Demetra? And I've been watching a lot of you guys' videos, and maybe you guys, our co-hosts in the chat, could maybe agree with me or give me some insight on this. All we are asking people to do is leave us alone, and they just won't do it. You don't want to help us do this. You're against us with reparations. You're against us with racial profiling and all this other stuff. And then when we delineate, it's a problem, even within the African diaspora. But me no black, me Dominican. Me no black, me Haitian. Me no black, me Nigerian. But when we delineate, it's a problem. Could you kind of expound on why is it that when we delineate, it's a problem, but when they delineate, it's not a problem? Koreatown, China, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Little Santiago, and all this other stuff. But when we do it, it's a problem. Just leave us alone.
Because everybody has benefited from the blueprint of Black Americans, our ancestors. But it's possible that you could see a blueprint. Like I can look at a blueprint to a house. That don't mean I can build a house. That don't mean I'll know how to navigate it. I'm going to need the person who wrote the blueprint to show me how to do it. And if it's me, I can't build no house. I'm going to need you to do it, right? So I say all that to say the ones that created the blueprint need to be out there to show them how to do it. And, and they know how to do it, and they should anyway. But they're used to us doing it. Whether it's us getting out there, helping them protest or voting so they can get, whatever it is. They're used to Black Americans because Black Americans have been taught that. You help everybody else. You don't help yourself. You help everybody else. You don't matter. You don't count. Of course, case in point, when the Black Lives Matter, not the organization, but the premise of it, right? The, Black Lives Mattering came into play, then you heard all these other groups. All lives matter. Blue lives matter, right? But that came about because Black lives do not matter to anybody else. But you know what? As long as they matter to us, that's all that counts. But yeah, that's why they're mad. Because as I said too, everybody's wrapped up into being Black. And now that we're starting to gatekeep it and we're calling it out like, nah, that don't belong to you. You don't like Black Americans, but you sure like the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we dress. Y'all like our culture, right? Even though y'all say we don't have one. But now that we're starting to say, well, we're going to move away, it's like, well, why? Why y'all just being mean? It's like, well, I think y'all were mean to us first. Black people by nature, we have been taught to be accepting of everybody. I tell y'all the story all the time. My little brother, when he was in high school, he said they did an experiment. He said it was him and three other
your little big brother.
My little big brother, yeah. Him and two other Black boys in the class at the time. So they did an experiment and they asked everybody, other than your own race, name two races that you would find acceptable as a mate. And he says, nobody chose Black. Nobody else chose Black. So I don't know. I don't even know why I told that. I just slipped my mind just like that. Magneta, Mark Wavius, how you doing? Deep Toppy, how you doing? Says foundational Black Americans, okay. And our brother Tammy says so-called Jews use Black during the civil rights movement to break down barriers of cannon fodder. Says they benefited and never helped us break down the walls. Now we're still being used to this day. So yeah,
sisters, you want to go to war with us? Boycott their businesses. Did you guys see that video? The African, I heard she got fired. Allegedly, she got fired from her job because she works in healthcare. But this is what I mean about the disrespect, Dimitri. You don't go into somebody's house and kick your feet up, your dirty, stinking feet up on their couch after we did everything to put you here. If it wasn't for us, doing what we did to get them here, it's the disrespect. So if we have, and we're not saying all of them do it. We're not saying that. But those people that we're talking about. What I think, and speaking as a FBA, it's the disrespect for me. You better get on your knees. Stop telling me how great your country is, and you're in my country. It's the disrespect.
Yeah, and I know why I was telling that story. Yeah, because we are accepting of everybody else. We've been taught that way, but everybody else doesn't accept us. They blatantly tell their people, no matter where they're from, stay away from Black Americans. Stay away from them. They're no good. I don't, But us, oh yeah, sure, come on to the picnic, come to Thanksgiving. My family will accept you, and we will. Now we might have something snarky to say, like, I know damn well he didn't bring that white woman up in here. But it's like, oh honey, you want to? Do you like seasoning? We're nice. But you go to their table, you know, whatever they house, and they'll straight up, well, what is our damn word doing here? You know, all of that. So yeah, we got to stop being so accepting of everybody else, especially when we're not accepting of ourselves. I heard about the story about the lady talking about going to war, but I didn't see. You know, a lot of times I just stay away from a lot of stuff. I try to protect my sanity. I do. Let's see. Easy says, yes, you got all the smoke from social media, and most of them do. You know, most of them not gonna meet you in the town square with all that rah rah.
Yeah, because the funny thing about it is FBA females are saying boycott, I guess, the African beauty shop, or whatever the deal is. And then she and others I've heard have come with this BS. Like, okay, in Africa, in the tribalism, you might be able to do that. But in this country, you can't outright discriminate against a certain group. You know, and, you know, they just don't understand. That's what I'm saying. You're coming to this country and you don't understand how this country works. It's just crazy to me. And big ups to you sisters that are understanding that when you let these people play in your crown, bad things could happen.
Yeah, that's why you playing your own hair. Hey, Israelite, he says, if they don't accept us, then they can't have our money anymore. Right. That's the conversation we need to be having. Don't nothing move. Okay. Not even the money. That's where we can really send a message.
Isn't that Walter's theme motto or slogan? Nothing moves but the money.
Yeah. Or Eric being Rakim. Yeah. Quick say, I had a white family refuse to eat at the table with me after the wife and mother invited me. See, one thing I'm not going to do, somebody said, come on over. I don't think so. I don't like casserole like that. Anyway. May Good, how you doing? Says, remember when those 9 black families bought land in White Town, started complaining, saying it's discrimination? Yeah, they some hateful beings. They do not want us to never have anything outside of them. So, yeah. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Deirdre, how you doing? Says, I stopped a long time ago being accepting of them folks and the melanated immigrants. And Easy says she want to go to war with us while her country continues to be ravaged through by them folks, but she has nothing to say about them.
Yeah, Astarte Jones says, how she go to war with us when the Chinaman beating them with sticks in their own continent? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But they think they could come over here and run roughshod on us when it was the civil rights movement from starting in the 1950s that started their movement so that they could move for independence. They didn't move until we moved. They still had a colonial mind up until the early 1980s when apartheid ended in South Africa. They still have that mindset. And even in South Africa to this very day, white people, the minority, control the majority of the country.
Absolutely. Lance says, white people have never created, built, or sustained a civilization. They only created war, death, culture. Oof. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We are going to get out of here. I will be back here tomorrow. I have a great topic for you all. We are going to be talking about Section 8. Dun, dun, dun.
I need to make it to the show. I have a lot to say about Section 8.
We're going to talk about Section 8 and what Trump has proposed to do. I've seen it. Hey, Sunlight. I've seen it all over social media. I was like, okay, well, that's going to be Monday's topic. So y'all please stay tuned for that. Anyway.
Tuesday's topic, fellas, please tune in. We're going to be talking about the cleanup in Sosua. No, I'm joking.
Donovan is upset about what they're doing in Sosua. They said, take your filthiness away from here, okay? We're turning this into the Bible Belt. Okay, we're going to be having these women with long skirts, turtlenecks, and Bibles, okay? And if you ain't with that, then don't come over here, okay? There will be, the only knees that will be on is praying from now on.
They have a female DA in the DR, Attorney General in DR, and they are intent on cleaning that area up. And it isn't just Sosua, it's all over the DR in the major cities where the tourism is. And you know what? I'm not against it. But the thing is, what I think they should do, because I'm about solutions, fellas. They should just make a red light district. That way everybody's happy. The girls are safe. The criminals are gone. They do it in most Western countries. Am I right, fellas, or am I wrong? Just let's work together so everybody could make money out of this thing, right?
See, the problem is this, okay? And I'm going to leave, okay? Because Donovan's really upset about this whole Sasua being the blade, okay? The blade being shut down. The problem is they knew that that was there. The problem came in is when you passport bros got all on the internet making videos talking about all these girls is easy down here. This is where you can get you some woo, woo, woo. And they was like, oh, they running their mouth. Like, we know this is going on, but we don't want y'all to know we know, right? So be mad at your brothers for yipping their yapper about what was going on, which should have been a little dirty secret, and y'all made it all. Y'all was like, listen, fellas, if you want the Atlanta milk and honey, you come over here. It's a plenty, $5 to make you holler.
It's these single mamas boys raised by these, women that want to be on the internet talking all their business. And I'm with you on that. But let me say this, as you guys have heard me report, the last time I was in the DR, them stud buds were going insane over there. They were acting badly in the public. So it ain't just the men. The stud buds were going a little crazy too.
Well, the stud buds wouldn't have heard about it unless y'all made it known, okay? And those ladies over there, like, we don't care if this is a man or a woman, and we care about the money, okay? That's all we care about. When the lights go out, it could be a man or a woman, as long as y'all leave the money on the nightstand. That's all they care about.
But what about the single moms out there that now have no income coming in? What about them?
What about the baby daddies?
Oh, they're no good.
Same old, and what did Kamala say? The same old Tide playbook. They got the playbook over there. They got the playbook over here. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all want to take care of the baby mamas over there. Why not take care of them over here?
Because y'all got too much mouth and the justice system is against us. Until my man Trump changes the justice system to where it's fair. It's fair. 50-50. No, we'll head over there.
I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The problem is $35. $35, because over there they want $5, over here they want $40, and y'all cheap, right? So y'all letting $35 cost y'all a plane ticket, hotel, and whatever else y'all paying for over there. Just adding up the $40 over here to the single mamas, and they'll be happy and you'll be happy.
I happen to have tracked Demetra's phone call. She is in direct contact with the president of the Dominican Republic. And
am on speed dial. Clean it up. Okay? Clean it up. Anyway, I'm sorry, they said, man, stop making single mothers. They're out there. You know what I'm saying? It's single mamas everywhere. Maybe it ain't the single mamas. Anyway, let me get out of here before we get in trouble. Super Patron, we love you too. So I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. We're going to have a conversation about Section 8. It's going to be very interesting. I promise y'all, y'all do not want to miss this. In the meantime, peace.